Life and Death. Life. Lesson 3. Life and Death. For to me, to live is Messiah, and to die is gain. Paul. Paul was waiting to be judged by the ruthless Nero. His future depended more on Caesar's mood than on justice. But he knew that his fate was not truly in Nero's hands, but in Elohim's. Therefore he was certain that through the prayers offered for him in the churches, he would be freed. However, if his death was going to benefit the gospel, as his imprisonment was, he was willing to give his life for Messiah. To live for Messiah is or to die for Messiah. Christ exalted in Paul. To live or to die for Messiah. Paul's dichotomy. What does it mean to live for Messiah? Behave in a way worthy of the gospel. To fight united for the gospel. To live for Messiah or to die for Messiah. Messiah exalted in Paul. I eagerly expect and hope that I will in no way be ashamed, but will have sufficient courage, so that now as always Messiah will be exalted in my body, whether by life or by death. Paul rejoiced in the sufferings he endured, which were many. Of course, he did not rejoice in the suffering itself, but in the reasons for which he endured hardships, one of which was the benefit of it brought to the church of Messiah. By imitating Yeshua in his suffering and even in his death, Messiah was exalted in Paul. In his letter to the Philippians, Paul makes it clear that for the moment he did not expect to exalt Yeshua with his death, but hoped through the prayers of the church and the work of the Holy Spirit to be freed and continue serving Messiah with his life. Because of the evil that prevails in our world, living as Messiah often involves suffering as Messiah, suffered in some cases, dying as Messiah died. To live or to die for Messiah. For to me, to live is Messiah, and to die is gain. The root of all suffering lies in the cosmic battle being waged today between good and evil, between Messiah and Satan. This is a spiritual war which must be fought with spiritual weapons. The enemy's followers use weapons that are illicit against Christians, lies, criticism, peer pressure, etc. But we use weapons like truth and justice, powerful weapons to demolish strongholds. But what happens when in battle, the result is the death of the righteous? According to Paul, this result is gain for us. For those of us who are faithful to Messiah, death places us beyond the reach of the enemy and relieves us of all affliction. Paul's dichotomy. I am torn between the two. I desire to depart and be with Messiah, which is better by far, but it is more necessary for you that I remain in the body. Although he could not make the decision, Paul is torn between two possibilities: to depart, to be with Messiah, to remain, to benefit the church. Taking this text in isolation, we can deduce that Paul teaches that as soon as we die, we are sent to heaven to be with Yeshua, contradicting other biblical passages. In the same letter to the Philippians, he says that to be fully with Messiah, he must wait for the moment of the resurrection. On another occasion, Paul compares the body to a tent that is destroyed, dies, in order to be clothed with immortality. However, he clarifies that this clothing occurs at the second coming, not at the moment of death. What does it mean to live for Messiah? Beware, behave in a way worthy of the gospel. Only let your conduct be worthy of the gospel of Messiah. The expression your conduct is the translation of the Greek word politomai, which means to live as citizens. Paul urges the Philippians and all of us to conduct ourselves in a manner worthy of citizens of heaven. In the Sermon on the Mount, Yeshua taught us how the citizens of heaven should live: poor in spirit, meek, hungry and thirsty for justice, merciful, pure of heart, peacemakers, willing to turn the other cheek, love our enemies, bless those who curse us, doing good to those who hate us, to be loving and generous, to be merciful and humble, etc. It can be summarized as follows: but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your Elohim. Paul uses this advice as an introduction to a topic that concerned him: unity in the church. He knew that this unity often stems from pride and inappropriate behavior towards one another. Therefore, he urges us to conduct ourselves in a dignified manner, to fight united for the gospel, that whether I come and see you or else be absent, I may hear of your affairs, that ye stand fast in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel. Being righteous and upright does not guarantee a life without conflict. On the contrary, Job himself, who was declared by Elohim to be he is blameless and upright, man who fears Elohim and shuns evil, suffered a terrible conflict, the work of the enemy. In the war in which we are engaged, unity plays an important role. Paul urges us to fight together to defend the gospel. This unity of purpose must be joined with prayer and the study of the word. When we come into conflict with evil, we must not be intimidated by those who oppose us. Let us remember that Satan is a defeated enemy, for Messiah has already won the battle on the cross. How many years have we been in the Lord's garden, and what profit have we brought to the Master? How are we meeting the inspecting eye of Elohim? Are we increasing in reverence, love, humility, confidence, and Elohim? Do we cherish gratitude for all His manifest in the spirit of Yeshua in our families? Are we teaching His word to our children and making known to them the wonderful works of Elohim? The Christian must represent Yeshua by both being good and doing good. And there will be a fragrance about the life, doing good and doing good, about the life, a loveliness of character, which will reveal the fact that he is a child of Elohim and heir of heaven.